All right, joining us now, San Francisco 49er Fred Warner, after a really good season once again for you, despite the fact that you were dealing with some injury here midway through the year. We kept describing the 49ers this season as just weird. It was weird vibes you guys were going through. What was it like for you since, you were out there and with these guys?
Yeah, I think weird is the perfect word because it just wasn't us, right? We're so accustomed to just high-level play, dominance, always making the playoffs, always having a chance at winning a Super Bowl. And all year we're kind of waiting on that. Not waiting on it, we're chasing that moment of like, all right, this is the win that's going to catapult us to going on a run, right, and getting us exactly where we need to be. And it just never really quite happened that way. We had a bunch of injuries at key positions and just could never find it, right? And so then once we were out of it, it was just it was tough.
Obviously, the Christian McCaffrey injury, dominated the story, kind of just hung over you guys all season long. And yet you have the Ricky Pearsall situation, which I've never covered anything like that. Never. You guys have never been a part of that. What was that like in that short window for you guys when you weren't sure if Ricky was going to live or not?
It was super just emotional time because, like you mentioned, this was life or death. This wasn't something where it was like, oh, a guy may have hurt himself on the field. Like, this is a guy who's fighting for his life, and this was home. Like, this is in your backyard that this is happening, one of your teammates getting shot. So it was tough. Obviously, super blessed that he's even still with us, thank God. But, I mean, Ricky is so amazing. The moment he stepped on our team, he walked up to each of us. He walked up to me and was like, Fred Warner, I'm Ricky Pearsall, and he was just like the complete right guy. So super happy that he was able to end the season the right way and be with us and everything. So the future is very bright for him.
How'd you help Christian McCaffrey battle through just what was obviously outrageously frustrating for him as he was doing everything he possibly could to get out there?
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey, you mentioned how that was the bulk of the talk, right? And rightfully so. This is the guy who is one of the best players in the league, mentally and physically on the field for us, on and off. I think just talking with him, just kind of keeping his mind right, and the moments that he wasn't on the field, just making sure that, hey, man, you're going to get back, you're going to be ready to go. He did come back and versus that Buffalo Bills game, gets injured again. But before he gets injured, you're thinking like, man, this guy, he's having his best game of his season so far. This is where he takes off, and obviously hurt his knee and everything. So it was just a tough year for him. I know he's got that fire in his belly right now. We've been texting back and forth. I know he's going to be ready to go next season.
Well, another person, the leader of your team, your head coach, Kyle Shanahan, always has that fire in his belly. What was he like this year? Because I felt like even from watching him from afar, he was on a roller coaster himself, trying to keep you guys together. Like, we're so close.
Yeah. I mean, it's so tough as a head coach. I could never imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm one of the head leaders of the team, and I try to keep the ship afloat, right? But he's the guy that, we're all looking at week in and week out. And he does such a great job every week getting us prepared and getting us right. And at the end of the day, players got to go out there. Players got to win games. Players got to make plays. So, that's kind of out of your control as a coach. But it's tough when you are losing games and you're not playing up to that standard that that you're accustomed to and that you've built and want to continue to see. So I know he's going to be fired up, ready to get us going this offseason.
All right, I'm done with the sad and the depressing stuff.
Right,
the season's over. It's over. Let's turn this page,
Please,
right?
yes.
So let's turn this page. It's fresh, right? It really starts now for you guys as you start thinking about what the 49ers are going to be. And you guys got some stuff to work out, right? This roster's got some contracts got to be adjusted and fixed, and you got to figure out what it's going to look like. But there's no question that Brock Purdy is the guy, that this is who the 49ers want. This deal is going to get worked on soon. What is it about Brock Purdy that maybe people outside of the 49ers, outside of that locker room, don't really understand what makes him so good?
Well, I mean, the thing is like if you truly watch the tape and you watch all the other elite quarterbacks in this league, they all have a common thread amongst all of them in the fact that they're able to process the game at such a high level, being able to create plays with their feet, make the high-level throws up and down the field. Brock Purdy does all these things, and he was in the MVP conversation a year ago. Like, let's not forget that. He took us to a Super Bowl, and he gave us the lead before, obviously, Patrick Mahomes and them took it away from us in that Super Bowl, right? So this is the guy. Like, there's no question. Everybody out there, if you have any questions about Brock Purdy, I'm here to tell you I'm not biased. I know ball. He's the guy. Like, it's not – it's like –
Do you just want a Toyota? Is that what it is?
I do want a little bit of a Toyota too. Okay, I want Brock. All right, hook me up, brother. But
get him that Highlander.
But listen, this is by far the guy. He's such a great quarterback, such a great guy. Great leader for us. I'm excited for what's to come.
All right, so the Niners will be set with Brock at quarterback eventually at some point here in terms of the future of him. You got Robert Saleah back.
Yeah,
that's your guy.
Yeah.
He's coming back to San Francisco after just an up and down experience as a head coach in New York, but obviously ready to get back in there.
Yeah.
In a space I think he's really comfortable in.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to with having Robert back in the building?
Just getting back to playing dominant defense. That's all I've ever known since being here with the 49ers. You know, is playing dominant defense for our team to ultimately give ourselves a chance to win the Super Bowl. And we weren't that last year. We haven't been just on the details of just how to be that, right? And so I think Coach Saleah, he knows that recipe, and I'm excited to get him back in and get back to work.
All right, you're really close to your teammates, so I'm going to do this quick with you before I let you go.
Okay.
All right. It's really just quick answers of it. Only one guy you can name. All right. So if someone had to just pick the music in your Toyota,
right.
someone was running DJ. Which teammate are you picking to run the music?
I think that's kind of a no-brainer. I think Deebo Samuel's the one that kind of run the show in the locker room pregame, so I'm going to let him go ahead and run
All right.
that.
So if one of your teammates has to make a toast at your wedding,
wow.
who would you say, okay, this one would knock it out of the park?
Knock it out of the park at the wedding. I'd probably say Dre Greenlaw. It's like my brother, right? You know, and give him the toast to the wedding. How about that?
What about him? How's he doing? How is he holding up?
He's doing great. You know, he's training right now. He's over in Dallas, and that's where his home is with his wife and son and family. So he's training, getting ready for obviously a very fiery free agency period that's coming up, and we got to get him.
Let's see if you guys are able to do that. All right, finally, if someone was to just have to take care of your home, let's say you and your wife take a nice trip away, you shut it down, you just need someone to take care of what's going on back there. Who would you trust in with all your valuables?
You know, the guy that kind of pops into my mind is like a true bodyguard type, Trent Williams. Trent Williams, you know, nobody's going to come over to my house and try to mess around with Trent Williams.
Exactly. Because you imagine a robber pulling up to your house and just being like, probably not.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just be like, beware of Trent Williams. Beware of Bear.
All right, I know that you're very particular about what you put in your body.
1,000%.
Right? You have to be.
Yep.
And I've heard you say before, if you can't pronounce it, you don't
That's
eat it.
correct,
You don't put
yes.
it in you. Which I don't know how you're doing in New Orleans, knowing that, because the food here is tremendous, and I can't really pronounce half the things because it's all in French. But that being said, can you tell me about Ascent?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the longest time, I think as athletes, we're all looking for protein powder because protein is so crucial to building muscle, to recovering for your sport. You know, and I've been trying so many over the years. It's been a hassle trying to find the best one. But then finally, I find Ascent. You know, and they're by far the best because of the taste and the quality. You know, I don't have to worry about, you know, all the banned substances, like are they like messing around with all that. They do all the third-party testing, and ever since I've been using it, I've been able to see my game take it to another level, you know, since using them. So they're the best, and I love using them.
For Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, I mean, it's wild to think you guys were just playing in this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and just how different this is. But either way, you got the Chiefs back in this thing. In terms of the defenses, better unit. The Eagles or the Chiefs? Putting you on the spot.
No, I know.
Because I know they're both different in their own way.
They're both different. I have such admiration and respect for both, obviously, the players and coaches, Spagnuolo and Fangio, the things that they've been able to do for both teams. I don't know if I could say one's better than the other, but what I am looking forward to is the matchup between both sides. Obviously, the Eagles' defense stopping Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, versus the Chiefs' defense stopping Saquon Barkley, right?
What is the plan? Like, if you're with the Chiefs right now,
yeah.
What are you doing? Like, if you're in the room with Spags, you're going, all right, how are we going to stop Saquon Barkley? Like, how do you stop him?
I wish I knew. Obviously, everybody wishes they knew because everybody had that same game plan going against them, and nobody was able to stop him. So, if they do stop him, obviously that gives them the best chance to win.
And for Patrick, how do you stop 15?
That's another one I'm still searching for.
I know. No one seems to have. I feel like you guys have little blips of figuring it out, but he's finding ways around it.
You got to win the fourth quarter. You know, teams talk about, hey, let's start fast. Let's get off to a fast start. And in the Super Bowl and with this guy, you got to finish fast. Yeah. You got to finish faster, you know, because those moments are the crucial ones. When the game's tight, who's going to be on it? Who's going to make that one play to knock a ball loose or pick a football off?
I'm curious to see if the Chiefs actually, and I've never said this about the Chiefs before, if they're going to be able to keep up offensively with the Eagles. Because I just think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah. And we haven't had to see the Chiefs really score that many points this year.
They always score one more than the other team.
Always.
Right? Yeah.
Always just one more right at the end.
Right.
I sound like I'm a Chief hater. I'm not. Look at the pants.
Right.
Either way, Fred, thank you so much. I appreciate it all. Good luck this season. You guys are going to be turning it around. We're excited to see it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out in Scoop City.
Absolutely, thank you.